Chapter 2288, The Autumn Wind Sweeps Fallen Leaves 1. Crown Prince Ace, heir to the Wulwan Empire, wore a dark gold combat uniform, the worry between his brows not disappearing. He stepped forward and saw that within the vast cavern, warehouses and dwellings had already been prearranged. Surrounding them were various yellow-green crystals, all highly advanced energy crystals. This was indeed a flawless refuge, situated far from the Wulwan Empire, its coordinates known only to a select few high-ranking royals. Hands clasped behind his back, he murmured thoughtfully, "I hope nothing will happen to the Empire. Otherwise, he would bear the crushing burden of restoring it." His loyal guard promptly interjected, "The heavens will protect the Wulwan Empire. But Prince Ace, should the Empire face calamity, we implore you to immediately ascend the throne. Lead the flame of the Wulwan clan and rebuild our civilization." Ace nodded, a flicker of resolute fire dancing in his eyes. As the royal heir, he had received the finest education since childhood, trained to become a competent ruler. Ace turned and immediately issued orders to the nobles around him. "Karga, inspect the lower storerooms and take precise inventory of our supplies. We must prepare for a protracted war. Gerst, arrange accommodations and map the entire underground cavern's geography." Ace commanded with methodical precision, quickly establishing a focal point for the exiled noble youths. With no time to dwell on the Empire's affairs, everyone plunged into the bustling work. Within hours, the place was organized with meticulous order. Infinite hope blossomed in their hearts, convinced they were now prepared for the worst. Ace stood with hands clasped behind his back, surveying the refuge base below from a vantage point. He sighed and declared, "With these vast resources, even if the Empire falls in this battle, I can preserve the flame of our race. The Wulwan clan shall not perish." His words had barely faded when a deafening roar suddenly echoed in his ears. Ace's heart lurched, and he whipped his head around. The passage they had come through was sealed shut, yet the sound emanated precisely from there. In theory, only a select few source members of the royal family knew of this passage. Everyone's hearts raced with fear. Two loyal guards raised their weapons, aiming them forward. Boom! A subterranean submarine smashed through the obstructing rocks, appearing before the group. Seeing the submarine, the tension eased considerably. It was the Emperor's royal family's flagship. The submersible opened, and out stepped an elderly lizard man with snow-white hair, yet dressed in opulent finery and radiating imposing authority. At the sight of him, Ace's eyes immediately lit up, and he exhaled a relieved breath. "Uncle Zanker. Seeing you here puts my mind at ease. It seems the crisis of the Emperor's empire has been averted." Zanker smiled warmly at Ace and the others, who gazed at him with hope. "Indeed, I am also glad to see you all. Because now, I can finally carry out my master's orders and kill every last one of you." The moment these words left his mouth, the atmosphere grew incredibly tense. Zanker's eyes turned savage. The bloodline of the Wulwan clan must be eradicated completely. "You all must die." No sooner had he spoken than dozens of combat-type mechanical life forms burst forth from the submersible. These steel-forged creatures aimed their black, gaping muzzles at the Wulwan Empire's sparks standing before them. "Uncle Zanker." Ace, utterly bewildered, screamed in despair and rage. But no one offered an explanation. Terrifying laser beams tore into their bodies. Though the two loyal guards rushed forward to shield them, they possessed only top-tier Delta-level abilities. How could they possibly withstand the simultaneous assault of dozens of combat-type mechanical life forms? In an instant, their bodies were riddled like sieves. The lizard men youths wailed in despair, unleashing their supernatural powers in a desperate attempt to fight back or flee. They were all exceptionally gifted individuals, possessing outstanding bloodlines. Given time to grow, this group of over 100 might even produce 3 or more Epsilon-level mutants. But today, they were denied that chance. Laser weapons pierced space mercilessly, shredding them to pieces one by one. Within less than a minute, not a single living creature remained at the scene. That's right, not a single one. The elderly lizard man royal who had guided them, having fulfilled his duty, smiled and shot himself through the temple with a pistol. The master's command, all lizard men must die. Including myself. The mechanical lifeforms approached, collecting every corpse from the ground. To ensure their complete demise, life samples had to be brought back for comparison with the Wulwan Empire's biological database. Though their extermination of the lizard men appeared cursory, in reality, the identity information of every slain lizard man was uploaded to the database for meticulous cross-referencing. Should any discrepancies in numbers arise after the war concluded, the regional commander would face severe consequences. Lizard men extermination complete. A mechanical life form relayed the status report to Yang Xinxin. Yang Xinxin glanced at it calmly. Now, we've gained a substantial amount of resources. Zhang Yi led Yang Xinxin and the others to the palace, the highest point in the entire Wulwan Empire, offering a panoramic view of the entire realm. The constant clamor of battle raged in their ears, yet Zhang Yi had no time to spare for such sights. His mind was occupied with another matter. Compared to vast planets, the space occupied by the Wulwan Empire feels remarkably confined. Even the entire surface area designated for sixth-generation humans is merely the planet's outer layer. It's unimaginable how many secrets and powerful ancient civilizations this planet conceals. He stroked his chin. This battle shouldn't have caused too much disturbance. Therefore, this territory of the Wulwan Empire remains quite secure. Upon hearing Zhang Yi's words, Yang Xinxin instantly grasped his plan. Brother, are you intending to turn this place into our future refuge? Zhang Yi smiled faintly and asked Yang Xinxin, what do you think? This place is vast. Even relocating the entire population of Huashu Kingdom here wouldn't be a problem. We must prepare early. The day may come when we too must live in hiding. He stretched lazily. I don't have many demands. This place is vast, with sky and clouds. We only need to create an artificial sun and moon, and it would not seem much different from the outside world. Chapter 2289, The Autumn Wind Sweeps Fallen Leaves 2. Yang Xinxin lowered her eyelids slightly. Her long, jet-black lashes gleamed as she pondered. When deep in thought, she always gave off an aura of cool detachment, making her seem distant and unapproachable. Soon, she lifted her head and said earnestly to Zhang Yi, I don't think this place is quite safe enough yet. Zhang Yi asked, why? Yang Xinxin smiled. If this place were truly so ideal, why would the Wulwan Empire still invade Huashu Kingdom? This remark made Zhang Yi chuckle. You have a point. The world was vast, and what lay before them was but a tiny fraction. There was no rush to consider infiltrating the underground realm just yet. Yang Xinxin continued, but if we don't factor in all those people, just the tens of thousands from Tianhai City, there is a better option. She activated her smart device, projecting an image of Shelter Base 1 for Zhang Yi to see. The Wulwan Empire knows this place isn't entirely secure either. That's why they built another shelter base 180 kilometers away, slightly below and to the side of this location. There are 2 more identical bases. I've already dispatched forces to eliminate the remaining lizard men there. This location is highly classified, built by the Wulwan Empire to preserve the embers of civilization. It has ample space for tens of thousands to survive, fertile soil for cultivation, and vast reserves of energy crystals. Zhang Yi smiled as he surveyed the scene, then leaned close to Yang Xinxin's ear. These locations remain secrets known only to us. He had no intention of informing the other major districts about these 3 refuge bases. Soon after, the Wulwan clan species seeds at the other 2 refuge bases were also exterminated. Their biological samples were retrieved, and only after confirming their complete annihilation did they cease. With that, Zhang Yi had personally slashed the last thread of hope for the Wulwan Empire's survival. However, Zhang Yi did not rush to relay this news to the surface dwellers of the 6 major regions. Over 20,000 meters underground, transmitting signals back was extremely difficult. Yet humans always had numerous methods to relay information. In truth, after the Silver Armor generals fell in battle and Zhang Yi killed Jinglu, securing the decisive victory, the mutants from each major region used their personal high-powered signal transmitters to relay intelligence back to their respective sectors. However, not a single one of these signals truly left the underground world. Above the heavens, Liu Karen's 3 super warships, while guarding against the Wulwan Empire, also intercepted their communications. These messages came from Epsilon-level mutants across all major regions. Upon receiving them, Liu Karen's face broke into a mocking smile. Brother was absolutely right. You lot start scheming the moment you win. But I'm terribly sorry, in this war, you're destined to be nothing but supporting characters. So get a grip on your place, you bastards. Liu Karen furrowed her brow, her gaze flashing with anger. Don't even think about coveting what doesn't belong to you. She cut off all communications and forwarded the messages to Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin. After reading them, Zhang Yi gave a faint, unconcerned smile. Time to get to work. He looked at Yang Xinxin. You have the locations of all the explosive nodes for the self-destruct system, right? Yang Xinxin nodded and shared the information with Zhang Yi. Very good. Zhang Yi took Yang Xinxin with him and plunged directly underground. First, they retrieved all the explosives from the self-destruct system buried throughout the entire Wulwan Empire. The entire system was already under Yang Xinxin's control, making the process of extracting the explosives remarkably straightforward. Spanning the entire Wulwan Empire, this explosive system capable of reducing hundreds of thousands of square kilometers to ashes was undoubtedly a terrifying energy system. Zhang Yi identified the explosives. They were indeed entirely different from anything humans used. Not gunpowder, not even nuclear material, but a special type of energy crystal. As expected, the energy systems used by the ancient civilizations of the underground world are completely different from ours. They monopolize the planet's most precious resources, leaving us only those cheap, inefficient fossil fuels. Ha! But now, all of this belongs to me. Zhang Yi dismantled each device one by one. These precious, vast energy reserves would enable him to rebuild a colossal mechanical legion and power his super warship. He could even forge a superpowered Reaper of Love far surpassing anything currently known to human civilization. Within 2 hours, Zhang Yi had raced across every location within the Wulwan Empire where explosive devices were buried, collecting them all. Next, he proceeded to every energy mining zone, warehouse, armory, chemical plant. Every area storing vast quantities of strategic materials. He absorbed nearly all valuable resources of the entire Wulwan Empire into his dimensional space. Such a massive operation couldn't possibly go unnoticed. In the Xinjiang region, Shang Daowen watched helplessly as Zhang Yi swept an entire warehouse of energy crystals into his dimensional space with a single gesture. The entire underground warehouse, massive as a small mountain, lifted off the ground and vanished into Zhang Yi's dimensional realm. Shang Daowen was nearby, having rushed over. Witnessing this, he froze in place, his mouth agape, eyes filled with utter helplessness. Zhang Yi spotted him, and Shang Daowen immediately greeted him with a forced smile. Well, Lord Chaos. I never imagined you'd look so. Well. Shang Daowen was secretly stunned. He knew Zhang Yi had defeated Jinglu, and had already been stunned by Zhang Yi's current power. But nothing could compare to the shock of seeing Zhang Yi now, completely unscathed. He didn't know what methods Zhang Yi had used. But he knew this, Zhang Yi hadn't defeated Jinglu, he had killed him. Defeating a powerful opponent wasn't difficult. As long as a gap in strength existed, one only needed to perform better in battle to overcome them. But when a Night-Tier mutant was determined to flee, who could actually kill them? They were all well aware of the strength of the Hades Gatekeeper. It was a terrifying power that had once been capable of destroying the entire Huashu kingdom. Even he hadn't escaped Zhang Yi's grasp? And Zhang Yi? Not a single scratch on him. He even looked full of energy as he collected the supplies. Shang Daowen, who had been brimming with words moments ago, now dared not utter a single syllable. He bowed deeply to Zhang Yi, his demeanor utterly submissive. Zhang Yi merely said to him indifferently, "After sweeping away the Wulwan Empire, I will distribute these supplies. What is rightfully yours will not be withheld." With that, Zhang Yi didn't even glance at Zhang Daowen. He vanished from the scene, reappearing 4 kilometers away in the next instant. Zhang Daowen watched Zhang Yi's retreating figure before daring to breathe heavily. He now sensed that if Zhang Yi wished, he could have instantly killed him. Chapter 2290, The Autumn Wind Sweeps Fallen Leaves 3. Zhang Yi made no pretense, directly seizing nearly all of the Wulwan Empire's strategic resources. The remaining scraps, such as grain and some advanced machinery, were left for the 6 major regions to taste a sweet reward. Though the 6 major regions sent messages to headquarters, the prolonged lack of response made it clear their communication channels had been severed. No one dared act recklessly. The force demonstrated by the Tianhai City team in this battle was sufficient to annihilate them all with ease. Faced with overwhelming might, even the last vestiges of defiance vanished from their hearts. A full day passed in this manner. The Wulwan Empire remained a picturesque scene of smoke and flames, the lamentations of the lizard men sounding almost melodious. Only then did Zhang Yi open his communication channel to deliver the good news to the high command of the 6 major regions. The Wulwan Empire has been taken. We'll need a few days to clean up the battlefield. No need to worry. These simple words sent the 6 major regions' leaders into a frenzy of excitement. Damn, that feels good. In the East Sea region, Li Guangxiao slammed his fist on the table and leaped to his feet, heedless of the crimson reddening on his palm. His eyes were bloodshot. Truthfully, from the moment the army marched out yesterday until now, he hadn't closed his eyes once. Sleep was impossible. This battle determined the nation's fate. Failure could mean the annihilation of the entire Huashu kingdom. How could he not be consumed by worry? He wasn't alone. Not a single high-ranking official across the 6 major regions who knew the truth had slept a wink that night. Li Guangxiao's agitation was therefore understandable. He paced his office, laughing like a madman. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Ha 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 ha. Zhang Yi, you're bloody brilliant. You're truly bloody brilliant. Carried away by his joy, this veteran warlord couldn't hold back his profanity, utterly disregarding his commander's image. In the southwest region, the Undertaker, 2 brothers, prayed for the army's success within their temple. Upon hearing the news, they exchanged a glance, their faces breaking into relieved smiles. Monks should be detached from worldly desires, yet they were enlightened beings who embraced their moral thoughts with serenity. Amitabha. Lord Chaos truly lives up to being the reincarnation of Padmasambhava. In my opinion, he shouldn't be Padmasambhava's reincarnation. The master could only subdue the demonic tribes of the demon kingdom, but Lord Chaos surpasses him. Then let's proclaim to the world that he is the Buddha's reincarnation. That's going too far, brother. Luo Zhuo shook his head helplessly. Soon after, a rumor began circulating within the Tantra. The Undertaker said Lord Chaos had surpassed the Buddha's status within the sect. In the Jiangnan region, Zhu Jing breathed a long sigh of relief upon receiving news from Zhang Yi. Since you've won, hurry back. I've been on edge the whole time you were gone. His joy was natural, yet he also feared Gao Changkong might seek revenge. By now, his apprehension toward Zhang Yi had completely vanished. People only envy and fear those who were once weaker but have now surpassed them slightly. But once those figures surpassed them by too great a margin, that emotion transformed into admiration. Zhu Jing now found himself admiring Zhang Yi. Seriously, would a superpower capable of annihilating an entire underground civilization even care about the petty authority of the Jiangnan region? Zhu Jing could only think about how best to latch onto Zhang Yi's coattails in the future. Reactions across all major regions were overwhelmingly enthusiastic. Within a single day, naturally, no unexpected incidents occurred within Huashu Kingdom. Thanks to Zhang Yi's covert troop movements, this massive military operation proceeded without a whisper. Thus, the outside world remained completely unaware. Furthermore, since the war unfolded underground, to this very moment, no one knew that the once mighty Wulwan Empire had fallen at the hands of the Huashu Kingdom coalition forces. Xinjing region. Meng Yuanjun pushed open the doors of the Ho-To Earth God's temple, braving the biting northern blizzard. He exclaimed with excitement, "Ho-Tu, we've won! We've won! To annihilate the Wulwan Empire in a single day, this is an unparalleled achievement." Overcome with joy, Meng Yuanjun paced back and forth within the temple. Look across the world today, which nation possesses such might? From this day forward, the Huashu Kingdom shall stand atop the world. And after this battle, every power will think twice about the consequences of provoking the Huashu Kingdom. Ho-To slowly opened her eyes. Her face remained expressionless, yet her gaze softened considerably. She sensed her puppet doll being activated, realizing Zhang Yi had swiftly engaged Jinglu in combat. Alas, she must remain to guard her homeland and cannot personally join the front lines. Nevertheless, Zhang Yi still emerged victorious. Leading the Huashu Kingdom's forces, he achieved a complete victory at an astonishing speed. Truly terrifying, Ho-To murmured. Meng Yuanjun froze. "Ho-Tu, what did you say?" Ho-To replied, "I mean, that chaos fellow. He really is terrifying." She paused, shook her head, and added, "No, to be precise, they are truly terrifying." Meng Yuanjun's excitement cooled slightly. After a moment's thought, he countered, "So you mean Chaos's team is formidable?" He chuckled. "But I don't see that as a bad thing. The stronger they become, the stronger Huashu grows." Ho-To remained silent. She felt a slight pang of jealousy. Though she always considered herself indifferent to fame and fortune, never caring about the title of Huashu Kingdom's top martial artist, it stung that Zhang Yi had so swiftly eclipsed her reputation, rising rapidly to become a peerless powerhouse. Deep down, a flicker of reluctance stirred within her. It seemed she wasn't quite as detached as she had imagined. In any case, it's all for the best. That's what matters. She drew a deep breath, rose from the cushion, and gazed calmly at Meng Yuanjun. "How are the preparations for what I asked you to arrange?" The excitement faded from Meng Yuanjun's face, his tone returning to its usual composure. "They're nearly ready. Would you like to take a look?" Ho-To nodded. "Let's see." Meng Yuanjun extended a hand, inviting Ho-To out of the Earth God's temple. They boarded a vehicle and traveled to an underground research facility at the heart of Xinjing City. This structure lay over 1,000 meters beneath the surface. In scale, it rivaled the research centers of the Jiangnan region, perhaps even surpassing them in subterranean expanse. Back when constructing this research base, they had specifically enlisted Zhongyue to carve out vast underground spaces. Though that man was no longer with them, the research base continued to expand and grow. Passing through corridor after corridor of heavy security, they emerged into an exceptionally spacious underground chamber. Through the glass, lay before them layer upon layer of tens of thousands of small nutrient pods.